Then friends, hope you are all doing great. As always, let me know if you can see me okay, if you can hear me okay. As you can see behind me, we have a gorgeous spring day going on, though I'm a little bit worried about a few of the clouds, but hopefully we will be all right. So far, I just see a comment from Barry. Hi from Sydney, Australia. Hello to Barry. Thank you. For some reason, it's not updating. Oh, there we go. Now we're going. Okay, David, hello. Thank you so much. Melissa, welcome. Okay, good. It's working. This is the first time that I am live streaming since probably the most difficult thing that has happened so far since I've gotten here to Sofia. I had a whole debacle with my YouTube channel and my AdSense account. It's a very long emotional story, so you guys will hear all about it in this coming week's video, but this is my first time live streaming since it happened, and it's interesting because now I see my super chat in Bulgarian lev, so let's hope it goes okay. Hello to Rahul, thank you for coming out. Oh, my dad's here, Gordon McLeod. Hi, Alina. Hi, Dad. I see Georgi. Thank you for coming out. Mitzi from the Philippines. Amazing. All right, guys. So we have such a great walk and talk plan for you. I'm going to actually take you on one of my favorite routes in the city to a part that I haven't shown you yet, so hope you will enjoy it. Want to say a big thank you to Jim Ross, who I see in the comments, walking and talking. Yes, a great way to begin the day. Jim, thank you so much for the very kind PayPal, as always, so very appreciated, and for waking up so early, because I know in Calgary right now, what is it, 8 a.m. or something like that, so thank you so much for coming out. We got people from all over, actually. We have AIPS Photography from Germany. We got MKCN from Mexico. Tago from 6 kilometers away, amazing. Eddie from Florianopolis, fantastic. All right, guys, so a lot has happened this week. I will fill you in on some of that, as well as my travel plans as we go in this live stream. But first and foremost, I want to give you just a little look around of this lovely area that we're currently in right now. This is kind of, the downtown city square. That is the National Assembly, like the main government building, and all of Bulgaria, really. And then over here on this side is the National Gallery, really nice actually. We've got the Grand Hotel Bulgaria. And then over here we have the City Garden Park, it's called. And look at these beautiful tulips that are fully blooming. Oh my goodness! I want to say a big hello to Flora and Note, some very fabulous travel YouTubers who are here in the comments. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. Definitely give their channel a follow in Venice right now. That is exciting. If you come to Bulgaria, well, actually I'm about to leave, but if you come to Bulgaria later on, definitely let me know. I would love to meet you guys. Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna flip back here, and as you can see, look how nice and green the grass is. It's been this way for a while now, but it's officially spring now, so now we have all of the flowers blooming and people are out and about. If you can hear my Canadian accent in that. Today is obviously Saturday here, so it's a day off for most people. And it's nice because in Bulgaria, as I've said many times, it's a fairly social culture, in my opinion. I feel like they get out and socialize a lot more than we do in North America. So People really come to the public spaces like the parks and, you know, all around downtown. There's stuff going on. So today I will be showing you some of those most popular places. Got some kind of tour group even going on. Eduardo asks, hi Alina, what are the things that most impressed you positively in Bulgaria? I mean, there's a lot of things. Definitely the, you know, social aspect, as I just mentioned. As you can see, people are just, you know, living their best lives when they can, and it kind of encourages me to get out and not just sit at home all the time. And yeah, Bulgarians are overall very friendly, very welcoming sort of people. And as somebody who just moved here, that's important, right? It's like you want to feel like the people in the new country that you moved to are fairly welcoming. So that's definitely been a positive. And then living in Sofia, I feel like my life is quite convenient in the sense that I can either walk everywhere or take public transit. You know, even with delivery services, there's this thing called eBay. You can basically get all your groceries delivered or other things. You know, the kind of stuff that you'd expect in like a capital city. It's really nice. And obviously I'm in Europe, so being able to fly basically anywhere in Europe really quickly and for a low price is also very nice. So those are the things that come to mind. Brandon asks, hello from Toronto. Hello. How are the malls, Alina, and the supermarket? Overall, very good. Like, I'll be honest, probably our malls and supermarkets have more selection in the big cities in North America, but the quality of the produce specifically, but probably the meat and dairy as well, is much better quality here. So maybe not quite as much selection as we have in North America, but definitely good quality stuff and probably with a lot less preservatives. So that would be that. We got people from LA. Oh my gosh, we got somebody from Kiev. Innisfree. Lovely. Привет. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I had mentioned that my mom has actually gone back to Ukraine. She's already been there for about a week. So obviously I miss her, and obviously it makes me kind of nervous having her there with everything going on, but she's actually been really happy to be back and to see my family and stuff. And so far things have been relatively quiet in Kiev. So, you know, so far as good as you can ask, really. Jim says, what you don't miss, you don't miss the spring snow that keeps winter dragging on. Yeah, that's exactly it. I heard that Toronto had snow, a thunder shower, and plus 20 all in one day. Like absolute chaos when it comes to the weather. Aw. Thank you so much. Costas World of Music Memories, Harriet, Jim, and Yuki. Hello, Alina. Hope your mom and dad are doing okay. Thank you so much, guys. That's very sweet of you. Yeah, they're both doing good. I actually talked to my dad just a couple of days ago. He's a crazy man. He's almost 78 years old. It's actually almost his birthday. On April 8th, it is my dad's birthday. So I think he's still in the comments if anybody wants to give him a birthday message. The guy is still going 110%. He actually just got a new job working for a farmer. So yeah, he's doing really good. And then my mom, kind of the exact opposite, is really enjoying her retirement, you know? So both of my parents have very different kind of, you know, work schedules, you could call it. Hello to Claude from Montreal. Dorde, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks, hi Alina, do you want to visit Serbia because it's close to Bulgaria? Well, funny enough, I was actually going to go to Serbia and Montenegro in June with my friend Kaya, but then I had a work trip come up that I felt was, you know, the right thing to take at the time. We can go to Serbia and Montenegro later on in the year. So to answer your question, yes. But while we're on the topic of traveling, let me quickly give you guys an update of what I have coming up in the next 3 months, because it's kind of intense and I'm kind of worried of the kind of state that I'm going to be in trying to do it all. So I mentioned it in my last live stream, but my next destination, almost for sure, because I actually don't have my visa just yet, is going to be China. I will be going to China in about a week-ish from now, and I'm going to be there for about 3 weeks. I'll explain the whole details in a whole video, but very exciting reason of why I'm going. And on the way back, since I'm flying with Emirates, I'm going to be stopping in Dubai for 5 days, which is also exciting because I've never been to Dubai before. Then I'm going to get home for 2 weeks. And then, this part I haven't announced, I'm going to Japan. Going to Japan, guys, totally came out of the blue. Really great opportunity with a brand that I've worked with for a really long time. They're having their first ever like influencer trip, and yeah, they picked my favorite city in the world, so I couldn't say no. But unfortunately it's for a fairly short amount of time, just because I have so many other things going on that I have to be back here for, and also I can't be out of Bulgaria for more than 6 months of a year to maintain my tax residency. So I have to be very selective with, you know, where and when and for how long I go. So yeah, I'll be in Japan for almost 2 weeks, which is very exciting. And then after that, I come back to Sofia. I have about 2 weeks to recover, and then it's Bansko Nomad Fest, which I'm a speaker at this year. Also very exciting. So that is my next 3 months. It's going to be absolutely intense. And I'm literally like flying to Asia 2 times, right? Like it's going to be to China, get used to the time there, come back, get used to the time here, go to Japan, get used to the time there, come back, same thing. So yeah, I definitely didn't plan on going to Asia, honestly, at all this year, but that's just the opportunities that came up, and I felt like they're too good of opportunities to pass up. So that is what I have coming up. I hope you guys will be excited to see stuff from those countries. They're definitely going to be, you know, exciting experiences. Oh, Jim, I'm jealous. Time in Nippon is the best. I agree. I know you're such a big fan as well. It's going to be great because, yeah, it's been at least 2 years, I think. It's been at least 2 years since I was in Japan. Maybe even a little bit longer, so too long. All right, guys, so I'll comment on that more as we go. Let me flip the camera here and give you more of a view of the park. Sadly, it looks like it's still too early to start the fountains. I think probably by the time that I come back from China, the fountains will be working. It'll be basically proper summertime by then. What you see in front of me in Bulgarian says Narodin Teatr, still working on that sound, Ivan Vazov. So the National Theater of Ivan Vazov. Very beautiful theater. I actually haven't been inside just yet, but definitely at some point this year I'll have to take in a show. Any locals who might be in the comments, let me know what kind of shows they usually have there. Like, do they have ballet or opera, or what other kind of stuff do they have going there? We got a nice busker singing for us today. He's really good. Wow. Thank you so much to Ninjetti for the ridiculously generous super chat. Heard Dubai was expensive. Hope this helps a little bit. Thank you so much, Dean. It helps a lot. So very appreciated. And thank you so much for coming out. I know you're very busy, so I appreciate it. Yeah, Dubai is definitely going to be on the more expensive side of my budget, but I'm going to see if maybe I can get some kind of like hotel collaboration or, you know, something to lessen how much that is going to come to. But that is certainly very, very thoughtful. Thank you so much, Dean. Hope you have a great day. And I forgot to tell you guys, actually, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna say that. I was about to actually announce one other thing that I have coming up, but you know what? I've made lots of announcements in this video. I'm gonna keep this one for later, because yeah, it's not actually 100% just yet. Okay. Let me flip the camera here and give you guys one more view of this beautiful theater, because we are going to make our way to the main boulevard. I'm sure many of you already know what that is, and then make our way to the part of the city that I have not taken you guys to yet. I wonder if anybody in the comments can guess where it is I'm going. And yes, George. What's going on? I don't know what those guys are yelling. But George makes a good comment. Close to you is our best music hall, Bulgaria hall, usually classical music. Yes, I was actually there, actually just about a month ago, I guess. I got invited to a performance, orchestra performance of Romeo and Juliet, which was really, really good. So yeah, if you guys like classical music, definitely check out Bulgaria Hall. Thank you so much to Nemansky. Alina, привет из Aurora, Aurora, Ontario. Привет, спасибо. Got a lot going on in this park here today. It's so nice that it's all lush and green now. I don't know if you guys can remember from when I first moved here, and you know, my first video, it looked pretty depressing, right? Like it looked very gray, very overcast, Eastern Europe, you know, peak. But now when it's like, you know, green and people are out and it's lively, it's a totally different feel. So this is kind of the start of the best time to visit Bulgaria as a whole. Winter time's okay if you're going to like the mountains, you know, you want to go to Bonsko, you want to go skiing, snowboarding or whatever. But as far as visiting any other places, you know, not really the best time to go. All in this area is a bunch of different government buildings, but they are very beautiful. Tego says, wait till the roses bloom. Yes, exactly. It's even better when all the flowers are in bloom. You can see the tulips and some of the other smaller flowers, but I believe the roses really start at the end of May into June. So about a month more until that. I don't know what this kid is yelling here. Let's see here. I love all these little cute streets here. Thank you very much for the message, Hussein. I'm doing well, thank you. And yeah, the weather here, as you can see, is very, very nice right now. It's like, I don't know what today is, maybe about 15 degrees, something like that. But probably after I leave to China, kind of middle of April, it's going to start to get really hot. It's going to be like, 20 to 30 degrees even before it hits June probably. So very nice time of year. But I do hear it gets like really, really hot in the summertime as well, which if you don't like the heat, it might be too much. Like apparently it gets up to 35, even 40 degrees, more rarely in the summertime. So that is pretty hot. Aurora Melody asks, are you planning to visit Sunny Beach in the summer? That's kind of on the coast of Bulgaria and the Black Sea. We'll see how the summer goes. Right now it's like my my summer's already planned up until the end of June. And then, like I said, I want to go with my friend Kaya to Serbia and Montenegro as well. And I want to go to Greece. Greece is always so great for the summer. And, I'm literally like a 3-4 hour drive away. I mean, from the northern part of Greece anyway. So we'll see if I do the coast this year or maybe next year, because I know my mom, really wanted to see Varna and, Burgos and all of that. So in a way, I'd prefer to wait until her and I can do it together. And, she's going to be in either Kiev or Moldova at my aunt's summer home. So yeah, we'll see. But definitely the east coast of Bulgaria is really, really nice in the summertime. George says best time in Sofia is the second half of August and early September. Don't miss it. Then October, November is perfect in Greece. Oh, thank you for the suggestion. That would be very good. So as you guys can see, we are getting up to the famous Vitosha Boulevard, which more or less starts right here. Thank you. Oh, look at these nice flowers. This is so nice. I really appreciate when cities, invest in making themselves beautiful. It really does make a difference. So I love all the flowers that they have here. And here we are, back on Vitosha. I know I've shown this street many times in my live streams, but it really is, the epicenter of the city. And this is probably the busiest that it's been, that I've shown, because this is the nicest weather that we've had so far. So today is definitely a busy day. Of course, this is like also the most touristy part of of the city. So, you know, if you come here, you'll find that, you know, the prices are a bit higher closer to Vitosha, but at the same time, I think it is worth it if you kind of want to sit out on the patios and like people watch and stuff. It's really nice. Yatel is one of the phone providers that they have here in Bulgaria, but probably the less popular one compared to Vivacom and A1. And for anyone who maybe didn't watch like my past videos, to give you an idea of how much an average phone plan can cost here in Bulgaria. Of course, it'll be less if you're on a 2-year contract or something like I'm on. But even with their prepaid cards, I had gotten my mom a 1-month just data only, I think 20 gigabyte card for the month, and it came to like 15 or 17, I don't know, something like that, Canadian dollars. So, you know, like 12 US for like 20 gigabytes. Very, very reasonable. So yeah, if you come here to Bulgaria, while usually I would absolutely recommend eSIMs, it's definitely easier to just get a local, you know, SIM card because it's so cheap for the amount of data you get. So that is very nice. Dorde asks, what is your favorite food? Are you still vegetarian? I actually haven't been vegetarian for a very long time, but I mean, I still do really like vegetarian food. What's my favorite food ever? I mean, probably Thanksgiving dinner. That is my favorite meal ever to have, because I guess, you know, I have so many positive kind of memories with getting together with family and friends over Thanksgiving. And like, I just like a meat, potato, and vegetable sort of dinner. So that is probably my favorite food ever. Masista asks, are you planning on obtaining Bulgarian citizenship? Probably no, because I don't think in any format am I eligible to get it, unless I gave up my Canadian, maybe something like that, which obviously I would never do. But yeah, as wanting to keep my Canadian citizenship, I think my only option for remaining here long term is permanent residency, which is totally fine. That's all I would need anyway. And for that, I have to be here on the current kind of residency permit that I have now, which is just like a 1-year, you know, temporary residency for at least 5 years. So I have to renew it every single year, and then on year 5, I can apply for permanent residency. Yes, Tego, you are correct. Bulgaria does allow dual citizenship, but it's only for Bulgarians. That was my understanding, that if you're originally Bulgarian and you have a Bulgarian passport first, then yes, you can have other citizenships. But if you want citizenship as a foreigner, I don't think you can keep your other passport, from my understanding. But I might be wrong. That's just kind of what I remember reading online. But to be honest, like, it's fine if I just have PR. If I choose to stay here, of course, you know, I'm still only, not even 6 months into living here. And while I have loved it, it's been great. Obviously, I don't know if I'm going to live here forever. We're just kind of seeing things out for now and make decisions as time goes on. Oh, Vesco says you are right, if we're talking about citizenship. Yeah, I think that's what I remember reading a few times on different, like, immigration websites, that if you're a foreigner, you can't have dual citizenship here. Sebastian asks, will you come back to Toronto to visit? Absolutely, I will. Probably not this year, just because I already have so much else that I want to do, but most likely next year. I would go to Toronto to visit my friends, and then probably go to Saskatchewan, visit my dad, and visit my other friends. Though I'm telling you guys, I am trying to get my dad to come out here sometime this year. I even told him I'd get his ticket, but since he's just starting a new job, and you know, farmers, they're very busy in the spring and fall especially, but in the summer kind of too. So probably it'd be kind of after harvest when he could come. So we'll see how things go. Oh, MGPVC says, did you miss a message from your mom? I don't know, did I? Let's see. I don't remember seeing her name come up. But if you're in here, Mom, привет. Thank you for coming out. For some reason I don't see her message, but I can't scroll so far back. Aw. Thank you so much to Larry. Thank you so much for the super chat. That is very kind of you. Hope you are doing good. And thank you for coming out. Very sweet of you guys. Oh, look at these two lovely girls playing here. Max asks, do you have some friends coming over from Canada? Well, funny enough, actually, I made a new friend here just in the past couple of weeks, who, funny enough, like is originally Bulgarian and just moved back here from Toronto. Like, what are the chances? So, and you know, she spent most of her life in Canada and stuff. So, you know, her and I, even though we're, you know, from other places, we're both very much Canadian, and you know, both have spent so much time in Toronto. So she reached out to me on Instagram asking me for a coffee, and yeah, we hit it off right away. She's such a nice person. So now I have a local friend, but who's also spent a lot of time in Toronto. So that's actually kind of perfect. But as far as my other, you know, friends coming down here, I mean, I would love to have my friend Lane come down here. She's in Saskatchewan right now, but I'm not sure if that will be this year, but at some point for sure she will come and visit. And then, yeah, anytime my friends are in Europe, I told them, you know, you have a place to stay, or, you know, I can meet them somewhere else in Europe. So it's really, you know, convenient in a way being here. Diedrich says buskers and street players are so wholesome. I agree, you know, it actually takes a lot of guts to, like, you know, get up and just perform whatever you perform in front of a bunch of people in a new city. It's definitely a great kind of confidence. Oh, that's awesome. Diane says, hey, Alina, I'm moving from Toronto to Sofia at the end of May. It'll be cool to see you around. Yes, amazing. I think I've chatted with you over Instagram, right? Yeah, if you see me around Sofia, please say hi. Always love meeting you guys. And yeah, I think, you know, many Bulgarians are actually choosing to move back, or at least I keep coming across a lot of people around my age who, you know, are originally from Bulgaria, but, you know, went to study and work abroad for like a decade, especially in the UK. I keep meeting so many Bulgarians that lived and worked in the UK for a long time and are now coming back to Bulgaria. So totally understandable, you know, to come back to where you're originally from, because, you know, those close social and emotional ties, I think they are quite strong, probably more than we initially realize. Now this, if any locals could tell me what this is going to be, because I saw them setting this up over the past few days, but I don't think they're ready to go yet. They're still like decorating, but they have, you know, different like coffee and snack bars that they're gonna have open here. There's some kind of like kids carousel. There's even a Ferris wheel. Oh, YT Social says Spring Festival. Lovely, that'll be fantastic. I wonder if I'll catch it though, because I am leaving basically the week after next. So I wonder if I will be here in time to catch it. But for anybody who's in Sofia in the coming weeks, this will probably be going on while you're here, which will be very cool. Because like, look how many stands they have. Oh, and this is so nice. Oh, that's great. They're like putting decorations and stuff all over. Wonderful. And there's the mountain that famous boulevard is named after, Vitoshka, right in front of us. Really not that far from the city. I can't remember the bus number off the top of my head, but there's like a bus that basically goes pretty high up the mountain right from the center of the city. It's like an hour or something to get there. So really nice in the summertime. You can like go hiking and stuff. So yeah. There's a good question in here from Optioning. Do you sublease your place when you travel out? Thinking of doing it myself to save costs. So that's what I used to do when I was living in Toronto and was also pretty broke, if I'm being frank. So yeah, one of the ways that I made travel possible is to like, you know, sublease my place while I was away, or even Airbnb it. But that's because I had a super lax like building management. It wasn't even my landlord. I technically don't even know if like my landlord knew, but my building management was like, yeah, no worries, no problem. We'll look after it. They can call us if there's any problem. So, you know, I was able to do it then. But now, you know, since I just got this place and like technically in my contract, you know, it actually says I'm not supposed to do that. And while I could, you know, ask them for an exception, I honestly don't want to do that, even though of course it would save me money. It's just, I don't want to run the risk of, you know, somebody damaging my place, because it's really, really nice and I'd be leaving a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't really want, you know, people going through it, or yeah, just like, you know, having the risk of damaging my stuff, because it did happen when I sublet my place. Overall, it was fine, but there were some things that ended up, you know, being broken, just more wear and tear. So with this really beautiful apartment, I don't want to run any risk of anything happening to it. So even though I'm literally then paying for my rent as well as travel, I already knew that that was, you know, going to be the reality when I chose to rent it. So it's fine. And, you know, later on in the year, even when I'm not there, my mom can stay there when I'm not there. So, you know, it's not going to waste, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Diedrich says I'm too paranoid to have people live in my apartment. Yeah, for sure. Especially when you have just like a lot of personal stuff there, you know, like documents, and, you know, there's sometimes just some really weird, creepy people in the world that you wouldn't want staying at your place. And sometimes you don't know what a person is like when you just meet them briefly. So yeah, I won't be subleasing my place while I'm gone. All right, guys, so let's keep on going. It's basically up to here that I've shown you in past videos, and now we are going to go past NDK, which is the National Palace of Culture. They also have a lot of great performances that happen in here. I'm just reading your comments here. Very nice. Ilya says there are nice places to eat to the right of the palace if you're hungry. Thank you. I agree. There are some great restaurants just on the side here. I've been meaning to try that, I think it's called Smash Burgers or something. And can't see it right now, but it's like just in front. It's supposed to be some of the best burgers in Sofia. Have to put that to the test. What I did, was it this past weekend? Yeah, I think it was this past weekend. Do you see that tall building right there in front of us, kind of the top part that has a ring around the top? I'm 99% certain the name is called Ozone Sky Bar, and it was so cool. Another new friend that I made, who's like a local here, was like, we have to go here for brunch sometime, but since it was like later in the day, we ended up just going for a coffee. But they had such a beautiful view because it was on like the 37th floor or something like that. And I had honestly never really seen Sofia from that kind of vantage point. Like obviously I've seen it from the plane, but seeing it from that sky bar was a totally different experience, and it really kind of put into context how big this city is. Like sure, it's not huge, it's about 1 million people, but seeing it from that sky bar, I was like, wow, it really is a big city. So if you guys get the chance, it's in the Millennium Hotel, and there's a whole bunch of restaurants actually within that building, and even like a casino or something. But on the top there is, yeah, that Ozone Sky Bar, and it was very, very nice. So definitely would recommend it. Oh yes, Beiser says 1.5 million citizens. Yes, it is over 1 million now. Genitora asks a good question, because we are about to have an election in Canada coming up. And I don't know the answer to this. Says, are you allowed to vote for the new Prime Minister in Canada? You know, I think I am, but I actually don't know how. So if any fellow Canadians who have voted from abroad know how to do that, let me know. Because, you know, I've just had so much stuff going on, I, haven't really put that to the top of my list. But if it wasn't too complicated, absolutely I would vote. But I'm just not sure how to do it. And also I'm going to be in China is the only thing in like a week. So when is the election actually? I think it's coming up in the next couple of months or something, right? Because they just called it a few weeks ago. Just reading your comments here, guys. Oh, thank you, Jim. April 28th. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be in China. So, I mean, if it's online, then obviously I can vote from anywhere. But if I have to get some kind of paperwork, even if I was here in Bulgaria, like, you know, let's be frank, the mail systems here are not super fast. So I don't even know if I mailed it now. Would it get there in 2 to 3 weeks? I don't know. So I'll have to look into that. Tyrell says you just need a ID, passport, or driver's license to order a special ballot to vote from abroad. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I think if, you know, I was living outside of Canada long term, I probably, you know, would figure that all out, because, you know, it is important to vote, right? As we've learned in the last half year, I mean, more so I'm talking about the States, your vote really, really matters for everybody's sake. There we are. Ilya asks, why not broadcast in 1080? If YouTube would let me, I would. It's unfortunately YouTube that throttles the live stream speed, and for some, or I mean the pixelation, and for some reason when I've tried to use like third-party providers, it hasn't linked up properly. So if anybody has a third-party provider that would allow me to stream in 10K, I mean 1080, 10K, 1080, please let me know, because I have not had success in the past. Utopian Land says BTV Group that the top 2 Bulgarian television buildings. Yeah, I think, you mean this one? Or is it this one, the OBB one? I know, yeah, they have one of the television channels in some of these buildings. And speaking of television, I will post on my Instagram once it's out. But another thing that happened this week, I swear to God, so much has happened this week. I'm going to be on Bulgarian television this coming week because I got interviewed, yeah, on Wednesday by the loveliest lady. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's literally, yeah, the national channel, and it's the Bulgarian 60-minute segment. That's the one that I'm going to be on. So once it's out, I will post that on my Instagram. So I even attempt to speak Bulgarian in there, so you can check that out. Thank you very much, guys. Tago says the older one on your left now is the BTV building. This one kind of doesn't look like a, let me flip the thing here. Kind of looks, well, I guess not an apartment building, but yeah. Do you mean that one? Oh, gotta go across the street here. Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few television stations here, actually, more than I thought. In a weird way, it feels like, you know, TV in general, like, you know, TV shows and movies. It feels, you know, different than it did way back in my day, you know, back when I was a kid. I feel like, well, I think all older people will say this. They'll say that back in their day, things were better. I guess I can join that club. Because, yeah, to be honest, I don't know, like, I don't really watch, like, you know, TV shows and, like, movies and anymore. Like, news I will actually watch, but on YouTube. You know, I don't even watch news on, like, I don't even use my TV. So the news channels I will watch, but on YouTube. So it's kind of interesting how, you know, in the past 10 years especially, I feel like people pay more attention to social media than they do the normal large media sort of platforms compared to the past. So here in front of me is the Millennium Hotel that I was telling you guys about. So if you go in here, and I think it's actually at the very end, is the elevator to the ozone bar that I was hyping up. Definitely recommend. And then over here is the entrance to the casino, which I have never been to and don't really have any desire to go to. I really am not like a fan of that kind of gambling. I feel like life is already enough of a gamble. We don't need to lose our money through blackjack on top of it. Because most people lose their money, right? It's like the casinos don't stay in business because they're paying people money. They're taking your money. Oh, interesting. Scratch Card says, do you know that Millennium Hotel has got a helicopter platform on the roof? I did not. That is very cool. I can't say I've really seen a lot of helicopters in Sofia. Like, I'm sure they're there, but I just haven't seen them. Tego says, if the president of the US buys that casino, he can bankrupt it and do something nice for us. Oh, that's great. It's Daniel says, would Bulgaria be a good place to raise a family? Well, obviously depends on your particular case. If you can get, a well-paying job here, and assuming that you're not Bulgarian but are a foreigner and can kind of like adapt to the culture and the language, absolutely. Absolutely, I think Bulgaria is actually a very family-friendly sort of country, and I think the traditional family values are very, emphasized here. So, yeah. And the fact that, it's quite safe, which is really important if you have children. You don't really want to worry about them being at school, obviously, or, just walking around by themselves at any age. As a, woman living by herself, overall, I feel very safe here. So I think it'd be a perfectly fine place to raise a family. As you guys will see in the park that we're coming up to, there's also just so many activities and events that go on for kids, which I kind of was surprised by, because I always felt like in North America, I felt like there was quite a few things there that are specifically for kids. But here in Bulgaria, it's like way more, and Eastern Europe in general, it's not just here. There's way more stuff really targeted towards family, like lots of family events that are always going on. So I think that's nice. Ziggy, I'm not sure how to answer your question. Are there places to adopt a pet? I think so. Maybe the locals can answer for me. I think maybe there's animal shelters here, but I don't actually know for sure. Or is it like kind of like in Canada, we have Facebook Marketplace where somebody has a litter of kittens and is like, come get one for $20 or something. Is that a thing here, or how does it work? Let me know. Tego says that's Ivan Vazov district in front of you. You mean this whole area, right? I actually didn't know that that was the name of it. It's really nice. Like, the only negative for me is that you would be a bit of a walk away from the metro, right? Because I think NDK, where we were, is the closest metro that I'm aware of. But yes, they do have like streetcars and buses in this area, so you could get around by that. But personally, I prefer to be closer to you know, a metro stop as well. But I agree, this area is very nice, especially the closer that we get to South Park, which is about 10 minutes from where we are right now. We've already been going for a whole hour here. Well, thank you so much to John. Say hello to your mom. She's lovely. I agree. Yes, she is. Some of you had noticed that, yeah, there is actually some bike lanes in Sofia. Not a lot, I would say. It's mainly just kind of the main boulevards that have a designated sort of, you know, section for bikes. Otherwise, you're going to be right in the midst of traffic. And also, you'll have to be aware that some streets, you know, suddenly turn to like almost cobblestone, which wouldn't be the best for a bike. But if you're staying, yeah, on these like main sort of boulevards that do have them, yeah, they're great. And even like the scooters, right? You can just jump on a scooter and go down the bike lanes and that. Actually surprised I'm feeling a little bit chilly right now. I was so excited to wear my spring coat today, but in this kind of almost evening time, the temperature does start to drop a bit, sadly. Alex asked, have you had taxis that charge you way more than normal? So for anybody who's coming to Bulgaria on a whole, I mean, but this is most places in the world, yes, you have to be careful of that. Taxi scams is most likely, you know, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is, yes, you might get ripped off by a taxi if you get into one that's an unofficial taxi, and or if they try and say like, oh, the meter's like broken or something like that, and try and give you an outrageously high price, or they have a rigged meter, right? Where this is what happened. This is what happened to me and my mom when we were in Bonsko. Literally, like, my biggest complaint of that place is it's so hard to, first of all, get a taxi, because as a foreigner, like, you have to call, and most of the companies, they don't speak English, so trying to get across where you need somebody to pick you up is a whole drag. So ideally have like your hotel reception or something call for you. But we had one sent to us to pick us up from a hotel in Banya to take us back downtown to Bonsko. And I swear he rigged the meter. Like, I gave him the benefit of the doubt when we first got in. Everything was fine at first. And then literally as soon as we got like downtown, and I kind of didn't like see the meter for like a minute or two, by the time we got there, it was like 35-40 Bulgarian lev for like a 10-15 minute drive. That's like $25. I was like, F you, man. Like, but you know, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna like argue with this guy, and like, you know, his meter says that, and it was the hotel that called the company, so it's supposed to be an official, you know, taxi. But yeah, we ended up getting ripped off in Bonsko by the taxis. So I'm not a fan of taking them, honestly. The safest way to go about it is to get the Taxi Me app here in Sofia, because it will give you the approximate number of how much your ride should cost. You order it on there, you see the license plate that's supposed to come, and then your ride is fully tracked, similar to Uber. But since it is, you know, a regular taxi, the prices aren't really that low, I would say. And you know, it's not Uber is what I'm trying to say. I much prefer Uber, but it's the best option that we have here in Sofia, and sadly it's not available everywhere in Bulgaria. In the smaller places in Bulgaria, you literally have to do the old school way of like calling a taxi company, and the smallest places obviously don't even have that. So that is definitely an inconvenience about traveling in Bulgaria, is that they got rid of Uber, because I think at one point they did have it and then they got rid of it. So it is what it is. Thank you so much to Rahul for the super chat. Excited for your new travel adventures this spring, summer. I'm sure they will be enlightening. Thank you so much, Rahul. Yeah, I'm very excited for my travels. It kind of feels like it's been a long time, even though it hasn't, since I did an international trip. And it'll be nice to be back in Asia after about a year. And oh, there's a doggy. And also I'll get to see Dubai for the first time. I haven't been out, you know, in the Middle East in a long time. That's been like over a decade. Let me just get something out of my eye, one sec. Felt like I had something in my eye. Yeah, I haven't been out to the Middle East in a long time, so that will be fun. But I'm getting to Dubai about mid-May or early May, and it's going to be hot, right? It's going to be real hot, probably like 35, 40 degrees. So I will be utilizing the air conditioning probably most parts of the day, because that is hot. But thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you for coming out. Let me flip here for you guys. So we're getting close to the park. And yeah, there's a lot of like really nice businesses in this area. If I was to live in this area, I mean, not that I've been inside, but this building looks really nice. Really nice modern apartment building, and they have like a little organic grocery store and a cafe right at the bottom of it. And then you're literally across the street from the park, so really nice area. Costas World of Music Memories asks, will you be driving around in Bulgaria? Do you have your license to drive there? So I still have my Canadian license, which I renewed right before I got here. I mean, I should say also received it right before I got here. So initially my plan was to get an international license, you know, on top of it, but I didn't get it in time, and my mom brought it to me here, so I wasn't able to get the international, you know, on top of it. So what I can do, from my understanding, and what I did in 2020 when I drove here, is you more or less get an official translation of your license. Like, it has to be a specific kind of translation, and you carry those documents with you, and then it's fine. So I'm gonna go to like a car rental company and just double check that that is still the case, that I can legally drive with just my Canadian license and a translation of it. And if that's the case, yes, I guess I could try doing, you know, another Bulgarian road trip. But at the same time, after my past experience, I'm hesitant about where it is I go, because you know, the road conditions in some of the smaller places and also the really aggressive, chaotic drivers, you know, made me very nervous. And especially in big cities, like in my opinion, there's no reason to drive in Sofia. Like, I guess maybe if you live on the outskirts of the city and you know, the public transit isn't good there, then okay, fine, get a car. But in my opinion, I would never want the stress of having a car in this city. So yeah, maybe I will do another road trip, but to be honest, I prefer taking the bus. I prefer somebody else having that job. I do not like the stress of driving unless it is like a double lane highway and all the crazy people can just pass me and leave me alone in my little grandma lane. That is the only way that I would want to drive here. But welcome to South Park, guys. This is one of the biggest parks here in Sofia, maybe even the biggest. I don't know, because it does stretch like in many different directions for a very long ways. So yeah, I love coming down here, especially in the mornings, and like people are jogging, socializing, and yeah, the warmer that it gets, it's gonna be, you know, a great place for different kinds of events. So I really, really like this park. Yeah, Tego says finding where to park your car in Sofia is not an easy task, especially downtown. Well, exactly. Like, by the time that you drive around, find a parking spot, have to pay for parking, and you know, have to watch the timer to make sure you don't go over or whatever. Like, it's just such a headache. And that's not just in Sofia, that's any city. So personally, I have never wanted to have a car in any cities that actually have a good transportation system. Yes, if the public transit just sucks and doesn't go where you need it to, okay, then I guess you have to have a car. But then that's kind of a bad city in my opinion. Like, if you don't have good public transit, what kind of city are you? So personally, I prefer a well thought out city where, for sure, at least in the city center, you can easily walk, and then for everywhere else you should be able to take good, efficient, clean and safe public transit. Bizer says South Park is the third biggest. Okay, interesting. Borisova Gradina Park and West Park are the first and second. Interesting. Borisova Gradina I've been to many times, but West Park, I don't think I have been there yet. Interesting. Aw, thank you so much, Costa's World of Music Memories. Recently, Harriet and I went to a travel show in DC and sat in traffic for 2 hours to get to the show. Don't blame you, Alina. Yeah, oh, that's intense, guys. Like, I don't know how it can be this bad. Like, I guess, you know, when people built that infrastructure in different cities, I guess they never imagined that the cities would grow to the extent that they have, because it's like the same thing with Toronto. It's like it just gets bigger and more like populated every year, and so many people want to have cars that, you know, the infrastructure just can't handle it and it gets all backed up. So I don't know, either they gotta build more infrastructure, you know, roads, or ideally make the public transit so good that it makes more sense, you know, to take public transit than it does, you know, your car. Or third option, Singapore style, where you make it so expensive to get a car license, over $100,000 I think it is, for like 4 or 5 years in Singapore. And it's a lottery too, right? It's a lottery that you're not guaranteed even if you want it, that you're gonna get it. And yeah, there's only a certain amount of cars that can be, you know, on the streets at any given year or whatever. So that's the third option, which, to be honest, like, I'm not against. You guys know I'm a very big fan of how they do things in Singapore. So that is the third option. Just wanted to show you guys this beautiful view. We actually got a bit of a sunset that's starting. I really like this statue that they have over here with the birds. I'm gonna give you a closer up sort of view. But first, I want to say thank you to David. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is a super fantastic, amazing live stream. Thank you so much, Alina, to show us around the city of Sofia. It's really marvelous. Thank you so much, David. Very sweet of you. Thank you for coming out as always. Yeah, it is such a great city. I mean, you know, of course, it's no London, it's no New York, you know. It's a much smaller, quieter sort of city than, you know, the big places in Europe, but it's nice. You know, it's very livable. It's very easy, I would even say, like if you're in the downtown core to get around. It's overall very safe. So not really the tourist mecca of the world, but a nice place to live, in my opinion. So here we are with this lovely statue. They kind of look like pigeons, or are they doves? I mean, I do like pigeons, but I assume these are probably like doves. Very nice. Let's go towards those beautiful pink trees. Sadly, I'm a bit inept when it comes to the names of different plants, so I actually don't know what kind of trees they are. So people put in the comments what kind of blossoms these are, or I don't think they're cherry blossoms, right? It's not like Japan cherry blossoms, but are they like apple blossoms? I know apple trees can usually have white blossoms. I don't know what the pink ones are. That is rude, Diedrich. Pigeons are the rat cousins of doves. No, they're not. They're adorable. Did you know that pigeons and humans were like best friends for a while? They, you know, like domesticated pigeons, like the carrier pigeon age. They got used to humans feeding them and looking after them. And then humans just stopped doing that, kicked the poor pigeons to the curb. And now what are they supposed to do? We've abandoned them. I love pigeons. Yeah, if anybody wants to let me know what these blossoms are. Oh wait, are they sakura? I think these pink trees are the sakura trees that Japan gave Bulgaria. Oh my god, they actually are. See, I don't know. Somehow they looked a little bit different than the ones that I've seen in Japan, but actually no, maybe they are the same ones. That's so cool. I mean, obviously I recommend going to Japan to see the cherry blossom season, but look, we got cherry blossoms at home and they're super beautiful. So nice. I'm a little worried though, guys. I'm feeling some raindrops starting here, and the sky is getting to be a little bit dark. So I'm glad that we finally made it to the park so I could give you these magical views, but we may have to close things off here in the next 5-10 minutes because I do have a ways to go to get back home or to get to shelter out of the rain. But this is very nice. Okay, everybody says it is sakura. Amazing. I didn't know that. I thought it was some kind of like other blossom of trees, but yeah, honestly, they do look so similar. Hello. uh, thank you. But yeah, they do look very similar to the ones that I saw in Japan. So what a nice, lovely treat that we have here right in the city. Oh yeah, it's really starting to rain, guys. Okay, we're gonna have to close things off here. Luckily, I do have an umbrella on me because I was afraid this might happen, but if it downpours, that will not be good because I still have a long ways to go home. So thank you guys so much for coming out. What a fantastic live stream. I really appreciate all of your support coming out here, and I hope that you guys are excited for my upcoming travels. Literally, yeah, next week, not next week, the week after next week, I should be in China, assuming I get my visa later this week. So probably in 2 weeks from now, I will be doing a live stream from Beijing. So that will be very, very exciting. Thank you so much to Rahul. Thank you so much for the super chat. So cute. So yeah, I hope you guys will join me there. And as always, I'm sending you so much love. Keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.